This is Hanna's Daily Cat Stretch. It's a series of exercises that help to continue with your somatic practice in releasing chronically contracted muscles, but also helping us to refine and tune, because even in the course of living our lives, muscles can become contracted again. Start by teaching yourself the first lesson. Do it twice a day if you can. Once you have that, teach yourself the second lesson. And if you have time, do the first and second lesson twice a day. If you only have time to do the first lesson, just do the first lesson. When you feel comfortable, teach yourself the third exercise, and so on. It's important to do it when you have time to go slowly, feeling the exercises, not rushing, not thinking about other things. You're going to start by lying on your back. Stand your feet on the floor, a comfortable distance apart, arms comfortably away from your sides. And the first exercise is called arch and flatten. I'll move my arm so you can see. To create an arch, you're going to press your tailbone forward and down. And notice how your low back arched away from the floor. Slowly release. Now press your low back gently into the floor. Tailbone is lifting slightly. You're flattening your back. And slowly release. Continue. Arch your spine. Feel the muscles that contract on your back. And then slowly and smoothly come out of the movement by releasing the contraction in those muscles. Pause. Go into your flattening. Press your spine towards the floor a little bit. Can you feel abdominal muscles have contracted? Slowly come out of the pattern by releasing the contraction in those muscles. Continue for another few rounds slowly. Tuning into the internal sensations, what you're feeling on the inside of your body as you do these movements. In somatics, it's about the release. Finish the movement you're on and pause. That's cat stretch exercise number 1. Exercise number 2 is arch and curl, and it allows more of your spine to participate as long as it's comfortable and it's easy to do. Only do the amount of movement you can do easily and comfortably. Place your hands behind your head. Press your tailbone forward and down, arching your low back. Release smoothly out of your arch. Then press your low back down, which helps you to pick your head up, chin coming to chest and elbows moving towards each other. And slowly uncurl, resting your head and your arms out. Pause. That's 1 round. Continue. Arching your spine, sense the muscles that have shortened on your back. Release the contraction, the shortness, and you come out of your arch. Press your low back down, which lifts your head. You're picking up your head with your upper abdominal muscles. And then you release the contraction so that your spine can uncurl. Finish the movement you're on and pause. Let your arms come towards your sides. That's the second exercise in the daily cat stretch. The third exercise, you're going to roll over onto your belly. This introduces contralateral movement, opposite shoulder and hip, and how they relate to each other. Turn your head to the side. If that's for any reason uncomfortable, you could leave your head resting in the center. Place your, let's start with the right side, your head turned to the right, so your right hand is in front of your face. If it's comfortable, your hand can be slightly under your head. Left arm is resting at your side. Press your right hip forward towards the floor. Feel your left hip lift away from the floor. Lift your left leg, and as your right shoulder moves back, lift your right arm with your hand in your head. Then slowly come out of the movement. Press your right hip towards the floor. Lengthen your left leg back, lift it up. At the same time, you lift your right arm hand and head. Your hand and your head stay together. From the muscles that contracted, release out of that pattern. Come down and just rest. And once again, press your right hip forward. Feel your left hip lift. Lengthen left leg back, which helps you to lift your left leg, right arm, hand, and head. Smoothly sinking back down to the earth and resting. Tune in and notice internal sensations. Maybe one side of your body feels different than the other. Slowly change to the other side. Turn your head to the middle. Bring your left hand forward. Turn your head to the left. Take your right arm back next to your side. Left hand is either in front of your face or you can tuck your fingers under your right cheek. Just make sure you're comfortable. Press your left hip forward. Feel your right hip move backwards. Lengthen your right leg down and lift it as you lift your left arm, moving your left shoulder behind you. And come slowly and smoothly out of the pose. Left hip forward, lengthen right leg back, lift left arm with right leg. As smoothly as you can, sink out of the pattern. Pause. And one more time, do that movement. Finish the movement you're on. Tune in and notice. If before one side felt different than the other, see now if your two sides feel more in balance. Then make your way over onto your back. And you'll continue with a movement pattern that relates opposite shoulder and hip, but now you're facing up in gravity. Put your right hand behind your head. Hold your left knee in your left hand. Think about that diagonal right shoulder to left hip as you arch your spine. Come out of your arch. Now curl your spine, pick up your head, aim knee and elbow at each other so you're still focusing on that diagonal, and then slowly release back and rest. You can put your foot on the floor if you'd like. So there's a rotational, a twisting dimension to this as well. Hold your left knee again, arch your back, come slowly out of your arch, curl, pick up your head with your abdomen, and then rotate knee towards elbow, elbow towards knee, and slowly come back. Notice I'm not directing you to touch elbow and knee. This is not about strengthening. This is about releasing muscles that are contracted.
One last time, hold your knee, arch your spine, back muscles are contracting. You let go of the contraction and you come out of your arch. Now as you curl on the diagonal, feel those back muscles are getting longer, and slowly come back and rest. Change sides, put your left hand behind your head, hold your right knee in your right hand. Arching your spine, sensing the movement as it relates left shoulder to right hip. Come out of your arch. Curl on the diagonal. Lift your head and aim elbow and knee at your midline. And uncurl, releasing muscles that contracted. Continue on your own, arching and curling on the diagonal. Finish the movement you're on and pause. Lengthen your legs down the floor if you're comfortable. Take a few slow, deep breaths and notice the after effects of what you were just doing. So that was cat stretch number 4. And we'll go on now to cat stretch number 5. These exercises are done focusing on the muscles that are on the sides of your body. So you're going to lie on your side. You can rest your head on your arm. If that's uncomfortable, you could put your head on a pillow or a block and leave your arm out in front of you. Just make sure your head is supported and in line with your spine. Draw your thighs up the floor so knees are in front of hips. Feet are under knees, so my knees are bent 90 degrees. Take your top arm over the top of your head. Lift your head, bend your right elbow so your hand is holding your bottom ear, and rest your head back down. There's some variations. If that is not comfortable, you could let your hand rest on the top of your head. You could also put your hand on the side of your head. Using the muscles in your right side, lift your head as you draw your right armpit down towards your right hip. I'm not pulling with my arm. I'm using these muscles. My arm merely supports. Now release the contraction in your right side and let your head come back down. You can inhale as you lift and shorten your right side. Exhale as you lower and release. Pause the next time your head is resting on your bottom arm. You can let your top arm have a rest and come to your side, and we'll focus on the bottom half of the movement, your leg and your hip. Your hip is going to be moving up your side towards your armpit. Keep your knees together, lift your top foot, feel your thigh rotate in, which helps to move your hip up. Notice that there's a contraction here. Release the contraction, your hip moves down as your foot comes down. Lift your foot and lower. Position your top arm again in whatever place was the best for you. At the same time, lift your top foot in your head. Imagine you could bring your right armpit and your right hip together. Relax the contraction to lower your head and your foot back down. Feel your right side getting longer. Inhale as you come into the pattern. And exhale as you begin your release. If you run out of exhale, just keep breathing. Pause at the end of the movement you're in. Let your arm rest at your side. Feel sensations on that side of your body. And then you'll make your way over onto your other side. Position your head on your arm or use a block to support your head and have bottom arm in front. Knees are in front of hips, feet are under knees. Top arm comes around to hold the very top of your head, or you take one of those other positions. At the same time, lift your top foot and your head, shortening your right side. Come slowly out by releasing, relaxing the muscles in the left side of your body. Move in your own pace. Bring extreme awareness, great interest. See if you can make the movement smooth. Finish the movement you're on. Pause for a moment, tune in and notice sensations on the left side of your body. And then roll over onto your back. And you'll learn now cat stretch number 6, the 6th exercise in this grouping of exercises. Your arms are away from your side. They can be shoulder height. Don't have them higher than your shoulders. And depending on the space you have available, maybe they're not even shoulder height, but just away from your body enough that they can move. Turn, start with both palms facing up, and then turn one arm so that your palm faces down. You just internally rotated that arm. Turn your head to the side where your palm is facing up. Let the weight of your knees go to the side where your palm is facing down. Now simultaneously, change your arms, head, and knees to the other side. One palm turns up, one palm turns down, head turns to the upside, knees go to the downside. Continue. As you're turning your arms, see if you can let your shoulders be part of the movement. When one arm turns up, that shoulder is moving back into the floor. When one palm turns down, that shoulder is moving forward and away from the floor. The next time you find center and you feel complete, pause. Lengthen your legs down the floor. Take a few moments, tune in and feel the effects. So working now with the movement of your leg in your pelvis, feeling how that relates through your pelvis and up into your back. Remember to only do the amount of movement you can do comfortably. Your feet and your ankles are also going to be involved. Start by bending your left knee slightly out to the side. It's an external rotation. Now, scoop your left foot in and up towards your chest. Feel what contracted and then release, lengthening your leg back out. Repeat the movement. Scoop your left foot in and up. It's an inversion. Feel that when you do, your right hip is lifting a little. Release by sliding your foot back down. Bending your knee out to the side, scooping your foot in and up towards your chest, and releasing. Pause the next time you've come out. Same leg. You're going to bend it slightly across opposite leg. So that's an internal rotation. Now scoop that foot out and up towards that shoulder and release. Bend your left knee across opposite thigh. Scoop your left foot out and up and release. Feel what's happening in your left hip, the left side of your back. As you come into the pattern, your left hip moves forward, your left back arches a little, and then that releases as you come out. Pause at the end of the movement. Same leg. Slowly alternate a couple of times. Start by bending your knee out to the side. Scoop your foot in and up. And as your right hip lifts, you can turn your head to the right a little. Come out of the pattern. Bend your knee across opposite thigh. Scoop your foot out and up. And as your left hip lifts, you can turn your head to the left. And release. Continue alternating. Knee out as you scoop foot in and up. Come out of the pattern. Bend your knee in. Scoop your foot out and up. Notice how your head wants to turn in the direction of your foot. Finish the movement you're on. Pause. Go inside your body and feel. See if your left leg feels different to you than your right. And we'll repeat the movement on the right side. Start by bending your right knee out a little bit to the right. Then scoop your right foot in and up towards your chest. You're inverting your foot. And release. Scoop your right foot in and up. Notice left hip lifts a little. And come out of the pattern. Feel the muscles that contract as you come into the movement, so you can then release the contraction and come more fully out of it. You might be walking around in some of these contractions. Finish the movement you're on. Take your right knee, bend it slightly across your left leg, and now scoop your right foot out and up towards right shoulder. And release. And a couple more times. Your right thigh is rotating in, knee is bending across opposite leg, and you're scooping your right foot out and up towards your right shoulder. As you do the movement, notice your right hip is moving forward, right back is arching a little, and you release. Begin to slowly alternate knee in and knee out. Let your head turn in the direction of your foot, which is a more congruent movement. As your body becomes more supple, it's what your head naturally does, given what your pelvis and your back are doing. Pause at the end of your next movement. Go inside your body. Feel all of the wonderful sensations and see if there was a difference before. Do you now feel more in balance? Same leg movements, foot movements, but now you're going to be moving your two legs together, doing the same thing together. Start with your bow-legged position. Bend your knees out to the side a little. Scoop your feet in and up toward your chest. And release. Feel as you come into that bow-legged position, your back arches. Pause at the end, and now explore your knock-kneed position. Turn your thighs in, bend your knees together, and scoop your feet out and up. And can you feel that when you go into that knock-kneed position, your spine is flattening a little? Alternate, bow-legged, inverting your feet, feeling your spine arch, release. Knock-kneed, everting your feet, spine flattens. Come all the way out of the movement before you begin the next. Finish the movement you're on, pause, take several breaths. The last exercise is done sitting, so roll over to your side, ease your way up into a comfortable seated position. You might need a pillow or a blanket, you'll see. So you're going to sit with your feet to one side and your knees to the other. And if that ends up being uncomfortable, sitting on a pillow giving you that little bit of lift might be a better place for you. You can always do this movement in a chair if that's the best place for you to be. You're going to start, let your left hand rest on the floor behind your left hip. Put your right hand on your shoulder. And a few times slowly, turn your head, shoulders, and trunk to the left. Only as far as it's comfortable, and then come back. Now go into your twist, hold your trunk and your shoulders there, slowly turn your head back to the center and again to the left. Just several times slowly turning your head without turning your shoulders or your trunk. Turn your head to the left. Now hold your head there and turn your shoulders and your trunk back and forth without turning your head. Turn everything to the left, pause, turn just your head back to center. Simultaneously, turn your head to the left as you turn your shoulders and trunk to the right. So you're turning in opposite directions, and feel that movement several times
Head turning one way as shoulders and trunk turn the other. Turn everything to the left. Place your right hand down if you need to have one hand closer to you or one hand resting on support. Do feel like you can put some of your weight in your hands. And I want you to lift your head. Now this can be just a head movement or you can actually arch your spine. Release, and you can lower your chin to your chest and just let it be a head and neck movement, or you can curl your spine a little. Lift your head and then lower. As you lift your head, your eyes are looking up. As you lower your head, your eyes are looking down. Pause. This time as you lift your head, keep looking down with your eyes. Now look up and keep looking up as you lower your head down. Look down, lift your head up. Look up and lower your head down. Close your eyes. Walk your hands in. Return to center. Open your eyes and change your legs to the other side. Do any kind of a release you need in between. Right foot resting in front of left knee. Make yourself comfortable, and if you need to sit on a pillow, do. Right hand is outside of hip. Not putting too much weight on it. You want to stay upright. Left hand is on right shoulder. A few times slowly, rotate to the right and back to center. Turning head, shoulders, and trunk together. The next time you've gone into your twist, pause and turn your head by itself to the left and to the right. Turn your head to the right, hold your head there, turn your shoulders and trunk to the left and to the right without turning your head. Turn everything to the right, pause. Now take just your head to the left. And at the same time you turn your head to the right, turn your shoulders and trunk to the left. Several times, moving head and trunk in opposite directions. Reminding your brain that your head and your shoulders can move in opposite directions. For a lot of us, we're in a pattern where they only move together. Turn everything to the right to the degree it's comfortable. Put your left hand down, resting your weight in your hands. Turn your face up. Release and turn your face down. You can leave it as just a head and neck movement, or you can let the movement involve more of your spine. Pause when you're looking down. Keep your eyes looking down. Turn your head and your face up. Look up. Turn your head and your face down. Close your eyes, let them rest, walk in, come back to center. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So that's the last exercise in the daily cat stretch. Depending on how much time you have, it's nice to lie down, take a few moments, sensing in and feeling the effects. Start slowly. Do only what's comfortable. Remember, in somatics, you're using your brain, your nervous system, to reset all of your muscles. So sometimes it doesn't feel like you're doing a lot, but there's a lot that's being reorganized in your soma. Namaste.